everyone, what's up? It's your girl, Donita Divine. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, this channel is all about event planning, fashion, lifestyle, and renovations, and whatever else I feel like talking about. I want to take you behind the scenes of the blind wine and tequila tasting birthday party that I did for myself. And it was so much I put into it, and the friends and family got together and tasted the wine and tequila, and it was so much fun. And I want to show and share with you how it all came together. First thing first, the planning. Of course, I'm not new to wine tastings. I am a member of Cooper's Hawk, and in our membership, we are allotted 2 free tastings. Well, I am allotted 2 free tastings a month. And every month they give you their selected types of wine that they're going to allow you to taste that month. And I am in the sweet wine club, so they select maybe 6 of their sweet wines for you to taste that month. And then they usually have the wine of the month that is included in that tasting. And then I went to another event that was a nonprofit event that did a similar thing. They gave you the welcome glasses and they gave you postcards. And then they had several tables that you can go and taste the wine. But you only were allowed so many punches on your card. So you had to be selective of which wines you tasted. So that was a great option as well. So I decided to combine both experiences and come up with my own wine tasting. And with the wine tasting, I decided to have 5 whites and 5 reds. And that did not include the white that I offered for the welcome and the red that I offered for the welcome table. When they got there, the wine bottles were already in the baggies, closed with a number attached to them. And the numbers were based on, so the whites were in this little khaki color sack, and the red ones were in like a burgundy sack. And so they had like little descriptions on it, so you can know if you're having something sweet or something sparkly or something dry or white. So that was the part that I wish that I would have put more time into. But when you have a DJ and it really turned into a party, it changed the trajectory of the wine party. So, and then we had 4 different types of tequilas. I wanted to offer the men something who didn't really care for wine. So I decided to get 2 reposado tequilas and 2 white tequilas. And that was a hit overall. So watch everyone go through the party and really discussing the different types. They were smelling the wines, and then they would go to the bartender and ask for more. Some wines went faster than others. I bought 3 bottles of each type of wine just to see what people liked. All of this started, my birthday is in November, so around the end of October. Never did I think that I was going to merge my birthday with the wine tasting event. Never. But then people kept asking me, what are you doing for your birthday? What are you doing for your birthday? And I was like, I don't know. And so also we were doing construction. We have been doing a little bit of remodeling to the home and like sprucing up the place. So I didn't think we had any room to have any events here at the house. But in between one contractor to the next, I was like, I might as well do the wine tasting here. And so in that, I started talking to my friends. And at first I had one date and I was like, save the date. And then I realized, wait, that's in a week. So I had to change that date and say, okay, change the date, save the date for November 16th. And that's what I did. And so I sent it to people that I talked to immediately in my phone. And then like for family, of course, I'm like, invite such and such or whatever, Once you tell one person in my family, the whole family knows. So I told my mother, and the rest is history. But it was a thing that, because I was in the middle of planning, that I really didn't venture out to that many people. And for another reason, it was in my house. So I used to have hundreds of people in the house for a house party. But now that I'm older, I decided less is more, because you have to worry about the cleanup, and if something is broken, you gotta fix it. So less is more. I asked my husband, I'm like, invite your friends, let me know who you're inviting, and let me look at your list, and then we can go over it and kind of go through that. So 2 weeks into the planning, I'm like, okay, what wines am I gonna get? So I invited the people that I had immediately talked to on my phone, invited my family, and then I'm like, okay, how are we gonna do this? So I started writing down my list, as I do in any event. What do you want to accomplish? So I did the overall idea, how I wanted it to look, and then I backtracked, and then I went into details. And with those details, I knew that I wanted charcuterie board, because how you gonna have wine without charcuterie, without wine and cheese and fruit and nuts and chocolate? So I wanted to make sure that I had an elaborate charcuterie board. And then for those that don't eat those things, I decided to have other food. So we'll get back to that. And so with the planning, I was like, okay, what foods are we gonna do? So I started writing down the items for the charcuterie board, and I spent a lot of money on cheese and wine. Cheese and meat. And because I was looking at Pinterest, and I had just recently did some charcuterie boards and been to Napa Valley, and just seeing the different spreads that they provide you, it's always different, and it's what you make it. So I wasn't really intimidated, but I wanted it to be an experience. I wanted it to be divine. So got all the items for that, put it in one refrigerator. And then I went on a mission to find my wine. So I did go to Cooper's Hawk, because for one, I get points if I buy more wine. And then I went to Benny's, I went to Matson Liquor. So I went to all different places to get wine. I even went to Walmart. And I was surprisingly impressed with my selection. I did a lot of things that I liked, and some things I've never tried before. So like I said, I did 5 whites, and I got 3 bottles of each. And then I had 5 reds, and then 3 bottles of that. And then I had 4 tequilas, and I got 2 bottles of the tequilas, of each tequila. So I got 2 white and 2 reposados, different brands. And I was like, they're gonna make them do what they do. During the planning, I was thinking, what is it that I want to take away from this event? And what I said to myself, and my husband was like, he always told me in every event that I do, make sure you have a backdrop. And I was like, I never ordered one. I keep saying I'm gonna order one. And this time I said, I'm gonna order myself a backdrop. And I did. Didn't know what I was gonna put on it. My business is Divine Expectations, because I do events, I do travel. And I'm like, this is an event. It's a Divine Expectations event, but also my brand, Donita Divine. So I wanted to make sure that I showcase that as well. So people that know me as Donita Divine, Divine Expectations. So that's what I decided to put on my backdrop. And then at the last minute, I was like, oh, I'm having an event. You need balloons. I always sell myself short, and I'm gonna work on that in the future. So I decided, do I need to order balloons? And I was like, nope, because a day before the event, I decided I wanted some balloons. So I ordered some from Amazon, and I decided to blow them up myself the day of. So I'm up early Saturday, blowing up balloons, and no rhyme or reason, saying, you know what, whatever it looks like is just gonna have to do. And this was my first attempt to putting them on an actual backdrop, saying, wait, maybe it's not. My daughter's birthday was the first one, but I just did across the top for that one. But this one I did along the sides, and I see how you need to fill in gaps. But you know what? It worked. It took me a minute to get where I need to be, but I did the balloons, I did the backdrop design, and voila, we had a selfie station. So initially, I wanted to have this event somewhere as an event that was open to the public. And then when I decided to do it for my birthday, then I had to scale it down and do something that was more conducive for my home. And so I was like, what do you want to see on a smaller scale? For me, everything is an extravaganza, but I needed it to be on a smaller scale because it was going to be in my house. So what did I want? So when we did something like this at my friend's house, my friend poured the wine for everyone. It was like 10 of us there. I didn't want to pour anybody wine. So number one, I needed a bartender or a server. So I contacted a friend who did this as a business, and she was working somewhere else. So she had her daughter as her employee, and she said, you can use you can work with my daughter. So I hired her daughter. Perfect. And so I told her what my idea was, what I was aiming to do. She understood the assignment and she nailed it. I used to work on and depend on my friends and family to send me their photos. And now that I'm more seasoned and more into my business, I make sure I hire a professional to capture the moment. I don't want to worry about who got footage of this and who got footage of that. When you hire a professional, and you tell them what they want, they're going to work the room and get that shot for you. So I decided to put my money there and hire a photographer to take pictures. And I had a backdrop, so perfect. I got a perfect back display to take these photos. It's now can serve as a selfie booth and a backdrop for my photographer. Chef kiss. And then the last thing, so it was supposed to be, so the event was a wine and tequila tasting and conversation. So the whole theme of it was to have the wine, discuss the wine, and then we sit down for a podcast. So I was going to record a podcast after people had drank a little bit and loosened up. That was what I was thinking was going to happen. But when we started doing the mechanics and the sound for the microphones, it was also the microphone the speaker that I was going to use for the music. Because at first we were just going to throw on a playlist and just make it do what it do. But then I decided that, you know what? I might need a DJ. Let me take out trying to find the best song to get the crowd moving. That's not my jam. So what I know how to do is hire somebody. This is their profession, and I'm going to let the professionals do what they do best. And we hired DJ High Speed, who actually really enjoyed the part. We'll get into it. So I had a DJ, I had a bartender, and a photographer. And that was my staff. And that is what made the event successful, because I was hands off for the first time. Outside of that balloon making fiasco, I was hands off. And so the great part about being hands off, I got to enjoy the party. When my friends and family called me the day before and said, what time should I come? I told them like an hour before, because, I was still getting ready. But I allowed them to come and help me. And I'm so glad that I did, because when they got there, I hadn't even started with the charcuterie board. I had so much wine, cheese and fruit and meat and nuts and chocolate all out, but I hadn't put it on the boards. I had bought 2 really large wood boards to display on the tables, and I hadn't put any of it out. So having someone help me with that was priceless. It was the first time that I was just like, yes, please help me. And I realized how much I needed that help, and I appreciated that help. And I had white wine on one side, red wine on the other. So whatever your jush is, some people may only drink white wine. They may only drink red wine. They can make their decisions. But you keep that glass with you. You can, and then when you walk past, there was a jar with different name tags, markers, so you can personalize your glass if you feel like it. And then you keep that glass, and then you go to a table. It had scorecards for you to rate your wine. And then when you get to the bartender, once you've had your first glass, you finish your welcome glass, then you want to have your second glass, you go to the bartender. There were, like I said, 5 different types for white. So I had 5 of these. So the bottles were in here, and you couldn't tell what it was. It just had a number. And then I had this color for red. So they didn't have a tag, they just had numbers associated with it. And so the scorecards said, rate your wine. What do you think about it? So I heard people saying, oh yeah, this is a cab. Oh no, this is this. Oh, this is a Pinot Noir. And so you hear people having these conversations and, clearing their palates. It was so divine. I loved it all. But what I did realize that I had to stop the people from coming in asking for margaritas. This ain't what that is. You're supposed to taste the wine in these cute little cups. So I had different sayings per little tequilas. So each one was a different flavor. So instead, you're supposed to get like a little shot of tequila, taste it, see if you like it, and go. So I did find one that I really liked. But I had to tell them, I told the bartender, right now, this is just for tasting. This is not for mixology right now. But they were like, bartender, tequila, juice, sold. Give me blah, blah, blah. I'm like, no. That ain't what we're doing today. It was hilarious. But we did the wine tasting for about an hour and a half. Had to let people come in, taste it. And the party started at 7. And it was supposed to end at 11. Yeah, the DJ was getting it in. People were eating. So we had, for the food, we had chicken, of course, charcuterie board. We had 2 large charcuterie boards with different types of crackers, different types of cheese, different types of fruits, nuts, etc. I decided to go and get some sushi, because who don't like sushi? I like sushi, so I want to have a little variety. And then for the tequila side, I decided to do some nachos. So I had like this big thing of cheese, and then I had this pan of ground turkey, and then I had another pan of elote. And honey, when I tell you that I did not get any food, that was my own fault, because they cleared the board. I had food across all. I had a spread, and I didn't get a taste of anything. But I'm so glad that everybody had a good time. They ate well, they drank well, and we had a good time. So once everybody was, the music was beaten and the drinks were flowing, the ladies got on the dance floor, they started to dance, and it was a sight. I mean, I think the men were a little intimidated by the women, because we were dancing, they were jamming. And, at one point, they were like singing to me, and it was all about me. And, it was just a good moment. It was a good time. We had an amazing time. And what was really big is that I asked people to bring a bottle for the bar. And not only did they do that, they brought me birthday cards and gifts. Totally unexpected. And it made me feel so loved and appreciated. And because so many times people come empty-handed. So having people that really see you as the event planner, I'm always the one that's doing the most for everybody else. And this time I was kind of doing the most for myself. And then to have people receive that and appreciate it and show and reciprocate that love, that was the best feeling ever, hands down. So the DJ was jamming, the photographer was snapping, Miss Morgan, the photographer, Mo, creative, love her. She did an amazing job with these pictures, and she was taking the photos. The bartender was shaking and mixing all the drinks. It was a perfect trio to my event. Yes. And then the people, like I said, the guys was back watching the girls. They were on a dance floor, getting it in like there was no tomorrow. I felt so happy to be around these women. It was no messiness. It was no looking at people funny. Everybody got together, even if they didn't know each other. It was just a great vibe. And then, it was a great vibe all night long. So the party was supposed to end at 11, but the last guest didn't leave till like 1:30 in the morning. Oh my God, we had a great time. It was worth every second. I didn't have not one complaint. Me and my friend fell in the grass. We were laughing. I mean, it was like that deep belly, deep down in the belly type of laughing. We laughed so hard. My cheeks were hurting the next day. I just had a really great, wholesome time at this party. And the cleanup wasn't that bad. The cleanup, what I did realize, I told people to take them glasses with you. Roll all over these things, take them with you. Some people took their glass. Some people left them in my sink. So I had a whole sink full of dirty glasses with stickers all over them. But I just cleaned them up and saved them for the next one. Oh, will I do it all over again? Absolutely. I think it is time for a Divine Expectation blind wine tasting somewhere coming near you. I enjoyed it so much. Of course, I do want to have the part where we discuss the wines. I reveal the wines, because we really didn't get to that until the end. By that time, people were already on like their 5 and 6 bottle of wine, and maybe give them the punch card so they can only have so many to kind of control how much people, not how much they're drinking, but just help them out a little bit. So I'll do a little tweak here and there for the next one, but you'll hear about the next one coming soon at a venue near you. Until next time, everyone, thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed my behind the scenes blind wine and tequila tasting birthday party. It was one for the books, and I really had a great time doing it. Yep, the DIY queen is back. She did that. I had a great time, and I hope you enjoyed it. And leave me a comment down in the comment section. Let me know, what would you have done differently? Would you like to come to my next blind wine tasting event? May not have tequila. I have to think about that one. But definitely wine tasting event. Would you like to come? So let me know down in the comments what you think about this video. And don't forget to hit that notification sound and that notification button. Until next time. Bye.